Welcome once again to Action for Animals. Today, those pesky little critters known as the green monkey. Cute, yes, but talk to some of our farmers and they might not be positive. However, there are some who might be. Why? Because they have learned how to cohabit with the Barbados green monkey. The green monkey was introduced to Barbados back in the 1600s. Yes, as far back as that. And I think it was 1680 that there was an act which then appeared for the Destroying Wild Monkeys and Raccoons Act. I think that was what it was called, because of their crop raiding behavior. So you see, our annoyance with them is 300 years old. Okay, but they are particularly challenging because they are highly intelligent and they adapt. So just how can we cohabit with them? Well, we'll find out from Debra Branker, who is the director of the Welchman Hall Gully, and farmer Martin Jackman, who it seems has learned how to cohabit with them. So welcome to Action for Animals.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Let's talk about these intelligent, sentient beings known as the green monkey. Now, I think that we operate, as you said when we were off air, from a platform of fear and ignorance. Mm-hmm. We don't know about them. Mm-hmm. There are lots of myths and stories out there which hopefully we can get rid of today, but tell us about the green monkey.
Other than the fact that they are cute and they're all pesky at the same time, they actually are our only real sort of wildlife in Barbados besides birds, rodents, and a few reptiles. Mm-hmm. So it's something that I think we've learned in the world right now that we really do have to coexist and live with nature, because nature right now is starting to rebel against us. So now we have these monkeys, and what we're going to do about it. And so one of my little problems I'm having is the concept of culling right now, or hunters throwing out this word of culling. So we really need to address that. I'm not completely 100% against it in the sense if it's done, I won't say correctly, but done with data, with scientific, and with real thought behind it.
Well, it was originally the idea of culling in terms of getting rid of the weak and the infirm and the aged.
And that is not how farmers are approaching it, or haven't approached it. As we say, we've had this problem for over 400 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus.
So it doesn't seem to be working. So, but one of the things is, I once spoke to a hunter, and I asked him, just really, really honestly, I said to him, why do you approach to kill the alpha male, alpha female? And he really didn't have a good answer, other than, well, I cannot remember him having a good answer, because I said to him, because monkeys work like family units, there's alpha male, female means the mommy and the daddy. Mm-hmm. Then you have all the children, babies going underneath that, aunts, uncles, you have it going down. When you shoot the mother and the father, yes, you have now gotten rid of the problem for the person that you've just shot the monkeys. Now the monkeys are going to disperse somewhere else, and when they've dispersed, they now no longer have the mother or the father, and particularly the mother is actually really she's the
to teach
to
them.
Teach, and the father is there more of a protector. So now you have children running wild. Yes. And so that's where I really have the problem with this whole concept of shooting monkeys, because we're not really shooting them correctly. We're making a problem worse, bigger.
Yes. Martin, your thoughts?
Well, I share Deborah's view on the whole idea of culling. What my approach is that instead of being aggressive towards monkeys, what I try to do is to be more, not really friendly, but to be able to try to develop or experiment with things that will repel monkeys or things that monkeys doesn't like.
Okay.
Not to encourage them to.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those deterrents, and some of them can be quite funky. If we really truthfully follow like one of the farmers from Welchman Hall, what she will share, what she does to deter those little cute things with the long tails, but they are, just like us. They're sentient beings, and we're, I think, encroaching on their habitat, and so we're going to get a lot more of this until we learn to cohabit properly, which is what we're talking about today. We'll be back in just a moment. On Action for Animals, we team up with the animal welfare group Action for Animals Barbados, and we're simply seeking to enlighten, to educate, to inform, so that we know how we can better care for animals. And these are the animals who perhaps live with us domestically, livestock, or even the Barbados green monkey, which we're talking about today. And Debra Branker is the director of Welchman Hall, Gully. And before the break, we were talking about culling, and she was talking about the local hunters. Do you think that they are going to have something to say to you after this, Debra?
Well, it's not about then retaliating. It's about actually having the conversation.
Right.
It's about getting, there's always many different sides to a story. So that's one of the reasons we are here, to show that there is another side of the story. And so I'm trying to bring up have the dialogue with hunters to maybe be more, to think about what they're doing is not, they can come and tell me something, and it's opening up a dialogue, and it's to think about something, another side of it. Not just a singular, this is what we do, and that's it. But there's consequences behind also what you're doing. And like I said, shooting the alpha male, alpha female, which has been done repeatedly. Centuries. And I said, that same hunter I was speaking to, I said, well, why don't you shoot the breeding females or the babies? And he says, oh, because they can't shoot them. Can't shoot the babies. I'm like, because what is the point really of shooting them other than dispersing them is one of the reasons you would want to reduce the population.
Right.
So
you mentioned the mother, the father. There's a breeding cycle, I assume.
About once a year.
Oh, okay.
Yes, once a year. Mm-hmm.
And how many babies? One
baby.
One baby.
One baby, and they produce after about 5 years of maturity. So, and the reproduction rate of wild animals is like 1.something%. They did not like domestic animals where cats, dogs,
Listen,
everything.
We learned about the cats and ending up with something like over 100,000 from one cat.
Yes. So so they don't breed like that.
Right. Thank goodness.
Yeah. And they still have mortality rates within their own populations.
How long do they live for, if all was well and right in their world? 15
to 20 years and longer in captivity. So they can have a fairly good, decent life spread. Now,
when you take a look at the monkey, is there any predator? No.
Other than the human?
And a car.
And a car.
Yeah.
And the odd dog.
The odd dog. If it's trained to hunt monkeys.
Yeah. The odd dog will, but usually the monkeys will outsmart the dogs. But it's humans, and now the humans, the hunter and trapping. Trapping people trap monkeys as well.
To kill them or
to
keep them?
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Because I've seen them as pets. What are your thoughts on that? I know. It's a silly question, but it needed to be asked.
Only for one, the biggest reason why you should not keep a monkey as a pet is that they're wild animals. So when they get to a certain age, they become unpredictable and will bite. So it's very difficult. It's almost impossible to keep a monkey Well, you can, but then you will get bitten at some point, and you're caging something that's very human-like, and so you're caging it, so then it's good. So it's becomes too unpredictable. It's
Gail, our Action for Animals president, who, you know, she sent me some information on, and I think it's from you, on
us.
how to interact with green monkeys. And it really needs to be, you need it or you know it by
I know
heart.
it by heart.
Yeah, would you like to, and this is if you see the green monkey in your area, close or not so close, what you should and shouldn't do.
Yes.
So let's start first of all with the shouldn't.
Shouldn't. Okay. Throwing something at a monkey, making monkey noises, clapping your hands.
Making noise like
Yes, that's
shoot.
yeah. It's seen as aggression. A monkey's eyes. That's you're being aggressive. You're secure. Yeah. So those are the main things. No throwing, no shouting, no clapping hands. What else would you say? I would say if you have dogs, in all honesty, just bring them in. Remove the dog from the situation because the monkeys are just doing it to taunt. You move the dog, the monkey goes, oh, well, this is boring now. Yeah, they're cheeky. But if they're bored now. So you bring the dog in, the monkeys go, well, this isn't any fun, and they move off. And it's over. It's over within 5 minutes, opposed to like how long the monkey's going to stay there taunting your dog.
Till it loses interest.
Till it loses interest. Oh yeah, the other thing, this is a big one actually. This is becoming a serious problem, is some people have been feeding the cute monkeys from their homes. So they will, they were in hand feeding, little babies see the monkey come, they'll start to feed, and then all of a sudden, when you start hand feeding a monkey, you've broken that fear barrier.
Yes.
So now they'll associate humans directly with food, and the monkeys who will have bitten humans have always had, either were pets or have some kind of contact with humans. So then, this is fine, you're thinking, oh, this is nice and cute, until then the monkey gets older and gets more aggressive. You don't have food today, and they're like a little bit angry, and then they go to their neighbor, and they go in the house, they're looking for the food, and then all of a sudden the monkey's a problem. But it started originally from people.
Right.
And also, actually, it also starts, we can talk about that, going back, to the culling, is that when you shoot the alpha male, alpha female, it actually changes the dynamics. And then the monkey's whole entire structure and being and socializing and survival changes, and you're finding the monkey's getting more emboldened, more aggressive. Then they're coming into contact with people, you have people feed them. So a lot of our monkey issues are 100% directed from us, our interactions with them in the beginning.
Okay. I can't believe, okay, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to continue this because this is new to me and I'm sure to many of you out there as well. We'll be back. You know, we're looking today at cohabiting with the green monkey, and we have stories, you know, abound about the interaction with these animals, animal to animal and animal to human. However, you know, you have sayings as well, like monkey see, monkey do. And somehow that has, I've never thought that sounded quite right. However, before, when we went to break, Martin was relating a story because Debra had been telling us some of the things that we should not do, like feed them.
Yes.
And this was an incident that happened because of that?
Yes, one of our neighbors in our neighborhood will actually keeping a troop of monkeys by her because she fed them on a regular basis. So then when those monkeys move off from her plot, they would not damage her products or her fruits or vegetables, but they would go to their neighbors, they would come to my home and they would make a mess. So then you have a situation where instead of when monkeys seeing you, they're more or less running from you, they're more or less closing in you or coming closer to you, and they're not being deterred by your presence there at all. So that in itself is a problem, because then the closeness, they get too close to you.
The fear barrier is
And
broken.
then is it possible that they will be liable to attack you? If anything.
Now you have here about taking photos of baby monkeys on someone's shoulder. You're not supposed to take.
Well, that's contrary, because someone who does it could say, well, that's my form of business.
Yeah.
But what I say about that is just be informed of what you're doing when you take the picture of the baby monkey. First of all, the person who has it is not the mom, so the baby is no longer with the mom. Then you have, so where did this come from? Then we know that you cannot domesticate a wild monkey. So when the monkey gets to a certain age, it's no longer profitable because the monkey becomes too unpredictable and will bite, and you don't want it biting a tourist taking a cute picture. So my point is more to educate the person who wants to take a picture of a monkey. That's your decision if you don't care where this monkey came from, or you care about the fact that you're looking technically at a dead monkey, because within a year, 2 years, it's not longer profitable. So then it will cost you money to keep a monkey that you
Exactly.
then can't have pictures taken of it.
Right.
So it's the idea, it's just education. It's for you to have the right to know what the story is, and then you make your own decision whether you're going to take a picture or not.
Now, okay, we've looked at what not to do. Let's look at what to do. How to interact with a green monkey. Don't. I kind of sort of thought that was
Don't.
what
No
you would say.
interaction. Yeah. Yeah. Just no
Don't.
interaction. Take
Don't
your dog
interact,
away,
yes.
walk away, no speaking.
I've had my experience in dealing with green monkeys. Right now, the deterrent that I use is basically something that is common among us, and that's newspaper.
Newspaper. Just newspaper?
Just newspaper. When I first started my plot, I used to use CDs and DVDs, hang them by cord. And it's something about the light or the twinkling of them that would deter the monkeys. But I found that after a while, the monkeys become accustomed to that, so it wasn't working anymore. So then I weaned off and I started to use newspaper. And then I find that there were less and less intruders into my garden. And I had an experience, it may seem to you that it's funny, but I experienced one day in which the monkeys usually come across my roof from neighbor to neighbor via roof, because I live in a pretty populated area in Sexman Village. So you cannot even have people shooting monkeys in that area because
It's too close.
Yeah. So one day I came out, the monkeys are on my roof and they're looking at me and they're not moving. So I go back inside and I got 2 sheets of newspaper and I came back out and I just flipped them and the monkeys take off. They're gone.
They don't like the noise of it?
I don't know if they don't
The
like the
smell?
noise. There's something about it that I don't know what it is. It's nothing scientific I know about. But the monkeys do not bother me anymore in terms of my plot, using that as a borderline.
Interestingly enough, after the break, we're going to visit one of the farmers who live close to you, and she uses Jay's fluid.
Yes.
So
yes.
that is definitely a smell.
Yes. Yes.
So what are some of the other ways that you deter them?
I have a friend of mine who is using a system where he's using pet bottles on BRC wire, where what he's telling me that the noise that is made when the wind goes into the bottles is also a deterrent for them. I've known for years that people use things like pig manure and fowl manure. Unfortunately, some places you cannot use that because, like I mentioned to you, I'm living in a very close-knit area, so to use pig manure is going to disturb the neighbors and myself.
Right.
So there are different various things that people use. Like I mentioned CDs, I mentioned manure, I mentioned the pet bottles, I mentioned newspaper. But there's other, what we have to do as farmers is to try to find ways to deter the monkeys. The thing about it is that at some point in time, what you may be using, they may get accustomed to, and they will no longer be effective.
They're fairly intelligent.
They're
so
very
once they
intelligent.
realize, well, hello, this ain't hurting me.
Yes.
You know.
Very intelligent. Yes.
Yeah,
Very.
they will be back.
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will continue with this, and we will also pay a short visit, very, very short, to one of the farmers in the Welchman Gully area who yeah, she uses some interesting things.
I'm interested in finding
We'll
out.
be back. A very interesting discussion today on Action for Animals, how to cohabit with the Barbados green monkey. And yes, it can be done. And yes, they can be deterred. Let's just take a quick visit to a farm in Welchman Hall, Gully, and an interesting lady who's been farming for decades and what she does.
So this is monkey territory.
Yes.
And you are a farmer,
Yeah.
right? So what kind of things do you farm?
I plant potatoes, I plant edibles, I plant yam, I plant cassava, I plant bananas, I plant figs, and I plant planting. And I got a pear tree.
Mm-hmm.
I try now to get my lime trees in thing called lemon trees in oranges.
Yeah.
But I cut down the orange tree because the teeth are more than I could get.
Oh, right, okay. So
Yes.
I'm glad you talked about the tephid now, because as you know, in Barbados, a lot of farmers are crying out because of the challenges that they're having with the monkeys stealing
But
their
not
food.
really monkeys alone.
With
The
people.
2-foot monkeys too.
Yeah, well, how have you managed to, develop a relationship with the monkeys where they take
Very
some
good.
and you keep some?
Very good.
How does it
Because
work?
I get my things, I put my newspaper, and I could go and pick my piece. Then I can come from the car, I can't read. So I don't know what comes with the paper. Come when the paper's put up. If I got fish belly or chicken belly, I put it around the area, and they don't come. And before I put it in the newspaper, I put the James Philip on it, and then I hang up the newspaper like blinds,
Yeah.
and they don't come.
Yes, so entrails and smelly stuff
Yes.
has worked really, really well for her. Similar to what but yours is not that smelly,
No.
right? Because you're too
I'm
close,
too close to my neighbors. The other thing that I have going for me also is because I have a number of fruit trees around me, mango trees. So once they can feed on those fruits, or you can yourself as a farmer provide a turn fruits for them, a plot which you're going to be just growing just for the monkeys. It's not that you're encouraging them, but you're giving them something else to go to direct them towards. So they're feeding from that. They know that that's their
So they
plot.
will learn that.
They will learn that because they know their territory. Once you mark your territory and they mark their territory, they know where they're supposed to and supposed not to go.
You're nodding.
Yes, absolutely. They're quite intelligent.
Very intelligent.
But do be mindful that if they have a little bit of generational trauma, which they've had a bit of aggression to them, it might take longer for you to get through, but they learn.
That's theirs.
Yeah, that's
and
theirs.
this is yours.
Yes, some of the monkeys troops might take a little longer to get it,
Yes.
but they will get it.
And one of the things is that is challenging because, okay, I live in a populated area where, okay, I may treat the monkeys one way, but my next door neighbor may treat them aggressively. So then you have a bit of trauma going on there, which,
They're not sure.
Yes, yes. I think that the best way that we can help probably try to deal with the monkey situation in Barbados, if we deal with it as a community, set borderlines, probably that will work. Probably provide plots that they can feed from, probably that will work,
Or in gullies.
in gullies, you plant fruit trees in gullies and that kind of stuff. And I know right now we're going into the dry period, but we can help ourselves by even watering them and providing food for them in their natural habitat. Then they will not intrude on
Come
us.
to ours.
Right.
Yes.
So dialogue right
Yes.
now is important.
Communication
And not
education.
just dialogue with farmers and the Ministry of Agriculture, but also homeowners, because we have moved into their habitat.
Yes, yes.
So, we have to know and learn how to live with them as well.
Yes, and you'll also just notice around this time, usually February and March area, particularly on brass tacks and in the newspaper, all of a sudden, boom, big
Monkeys.
discussion.
How
Monkeys,
come?
monkeys, well, same problem. And then you'll notice going into the rainy season, it dies down a little bit. And that's because this is the driest season.
Yes.
Monkeys are even more out and about looking for food. So if we know this, because you'll notice that when there's fruit trees and fruit bearing, you'll notice farmers will have less issues with the monkeys. They have more issues in dry season. So if we know this, we know there's a season for it, prepare for it.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a document, and I'm going to put the address that you can visit it online, provided by the ministry, and I think you all might have had something to do with that as well.
The Ministry of Environment's put out like a handbook for farmers.
A handbook for farmers, but it makes an interesting reading for us all. So I'm going to put the link at the bottom of the screen, but they also talk here about solar powered ultrasonic devices. So I assume these are noise deterrents. Propane scare cannons, they sound kind of scary.
I don't know any about, I have no idea about those ones.
Yeah, I mean, either pepper spray, yes, again.
See, these are so aggressive.
Scent deterrents, and Debra is saying that they're aggressive. These are aggressive. Well, let's go with the good old chicken manure.
Chicken manure.
Actually, they've added sargassum seaweed here. That smells really horrible. That seems to be a deterrent as well.
You know, sorry, I just recently heard, I was actually on Brass Tacks, down to Brass Tacks with a farmer talking, because they're talking about, again, and he was talking about, he puts fencing, electrical fencing, because people were complaining that if you fence your property, it's too expensive. But he was like, no, man, just use the electrical fencing. It's done by solar power, because monkeys can only jump a certain amount, like 4 feet. And he says ever since he did his property on this relatively cheap, couple of $100, he said, to do it up, no monkeys. The monkeys do not bother him. So again, one thing I like, since that handbook by the Ministry of Environment, I have learned even more, heard more people coming out and giving their deterrents.
I think that's what
so you can live with them.
We need a forum where farmers can actually share their success stories and how they have been able to deter monkeys. Because, like I say, it's not a one-size-fits-all, and the thing about it is that what you use today may not work tomorrow. So it's just something that you've got to continue being creative. You've got to continue trying to use. You have to be observant of the monkeys and how they respond, and to be able to deal with them. And
Thank you very much, Debra, and thank you, Martin.
Thank you very much.
We can cohabit with the Barbados green monkey. There are many ways, and you know, perhaps the conversation continues. But before we go, I'd just like to note that the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has urged Barbadians to use their monkey WhatsApp hotline. Yes, there is one. It's a collaborative initiative with the Ministry of the Environment and National Beautification. The number is 535-5237. And the number is going to be at the bottom of your screen. Please note it's a WhatsApp number, so they only want messages only. No calls will be accepted. They want you to leave your name, your address, your telephone number, and your WhatsApp location PIN so that they can obviously get to where you are. So it's a monkey WhatsApp hotline. So remember, the monkey hotline WhatsApp number is 535-52737. And just leave your name, your address, your telephone number, and your WhatsApp location PIN. Once again, thank you to our guests. And let's all, you know, try to cohabit with the monkeys in a positive and pain-free way.
And they're God's creatures too.
They're God's creatures, it's quite true. And we're supposed to be looking after them as humans. So you take care until next time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.